What up? It's your boy JSU. Look, before I get into today's video, do me two favors. Continue to like all the content I drop. Two, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Now for today's video, I just want to hit on this real quick. Shout out to Jimmy Hardaway. He tweeted, "Let me ask y'all a question. What do you want to see from Bryce next season as a fan, and what concerns you?" So let me just say this before I get into it. Bryce Young never trusted that offensive line. I seen that during the preseason. A lot of the fans, they bit into the press conferences and the hype videos. Shout out to GOAT, because GOAT tried to enlighten y'all that you should never take nothing from it until they show you something on that field. Look at this season. The man has zero confidence in that offensive line. Bryce Young has been sacked a lot this season. And for me, that offensive line has let me down over every position on this Panthers team, because they had the most praise coming into this season. Ike Ekwonu, we couldn't replace the left tackle for years since Jordan Gross. So you can say what you want about Ike playing out of position, and he was best fit in guard because his run game is out of this world. But he's a big body. He's a tall guy. And we drafted him at left tackle, and I don't know what happened to him this season. He for sure had a sophomore slump, and it's sad to say that because he had so much praise after his rookie year, because him coming in early in his season, he had a lot of bumps and bruises, but he came along. He went up against veterans, gave up a low rating of sacks. Like, he wasn't playing that. Icky was that dude. And man, outside of that, we've had a carousel throughout that offensive line. Even Owen, he's a veteran. You would expect him to know better, and even he gave up sacks and pressures and all that this season. And he's getting a massive bag. We can't even move on from him if we wanted to. Looking at these transactions that Scott Fitterer done to get off majority of the players that was on the Panthers, we ate a lot of dead money. It sucks that even the general manager can't even get it right. Like, we felt good about moving on from certain players because we felt we can do better or get young at that position and pay less, but it hasn't been in our favor. We just in dead cap hell right now. And a lot of the teams, they don't care about that dead cap. They know how to maneuver around it. They know how to drive correctly, and they're not far off. But that's just my little rant before I got into that tweet. So what else was another concern for me was his weapons. A lot of it is on both positions, the quarterback and receivers. A lot of times they're not getting separation, and a lot of times Bryce Young is just not throwing up there for grabs. I mean, he's a rookie, so he's going to have bumps and bruises. He's not going to be perfect. That's what every Carolina Panther fan should realize. He's not going to be perfect, regardless of the praise that he had Peyton Manning brain, and he's two to 3 years above a rookie. And regardless of all that, he's a rookie at the end of the day. So you got to have some type of sympathy for the guy. You're looking for perfect at the quarterback position, and that should be every position. But at some point, as a fan, you got a chance any and everything. So shout out to Bryce Young for making it this season healthy, unbruised. I believe we have a few more games left, but shout out to him for even going through all this commotion and a tornado with the owner and this coaching staff, the Avengers. It's a lot. I don't even know if I can handle it, man. I would have been asked for a trade. I'm not going to lie. I just got drafted and I'm asking for a trade? Nah, that's crazy. But shout out to Bryce Young. But yeah, man, his weapons. Hayden Hurts, he took a blow mid-season and haven't been back since. Even when he was healthy, he didn't do much. If I have to give this free agency a grading, I would give it a 6 out of 10. And I was high on this free agency because those were two reliable targets that we picked up in free agency, was Hayden Hurts and Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is a 2-time Pro Bowler. Hayden Hurst is a reliable target. They both reliable targets. And DJ Chark, I expected him to take the lid off the cap, and he couldn't do it. Early in the season, he couldn't get nothing going. Mid-season, he had an elbow injury that sat him. I'm not sure, probably 2 weeks maybe. If I'm not mistaken, write it down below and correct me. But I felt he missed 2 weeks with an elbow bruise. And it's sad to see that, because you see Thomas Davis, a linebacker, was in the Super Bowl his arm looking like a football out there. He respected and appreciated this game so much that was an ending injury. He had surgery, it was in the Super Bowl. Same year. So I know those are two different positions, wide receiver and linebacker. And you don't want your receiver to act like he can take a heavy hit or a hit that could maybe end his career. You never want that. But to see him not play through an elbow injury, a lot of guys, they take shots to play through injury or a bruised part of their body that's not ending injuries. So I didn't like that at a DJ Chark. Now on to another position that let Bryce down was at running back room. Now I have no clue of why we signed Miles Sanders. We just gave him way too much money to begin with. I get that y'all wanted to move on from Dante Foreman, but that wasn't the best interest. Now looking at it, we overpaid for Miles. Chuba Hubbard is out playing him. If anything, we should just gave Chuba another shot if Foreman was going to walk. We should have just kept him in Blackshear and just worried about signing a running back next year, either through free agency or go through the draft. Stop overpaying for these positions. We can't physically dissect his game. So on to next year. So where is the bright spots with Bryce Young and dissecting what he can potentially be? Now, I picked out of 2 games this season, and it was the Miami Dolphin game and the Green Bay Packer game. The Miami Dolphin game, I would have liked to see Bryce Young recreate that same energy and fight outside of that Miami Dolphin game. And I didn't get it. I didn't get it till the Green Bay Packer game. The Packers haven't had a defense since Matthew retired. Out of both games, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Miami Dolphin game, I don't believe he threw an interception. I know Green Bay Packer game, he didn't throw an interception. He had a clean, legit game, and DJ Chark finally wanted to come out of the grave or wherever he done came out of. He wasn't there from the start, so toodles to him. I did state that I want to re-sign him for 2 more years because he's creating some chemistry with Bryce Young, and you never want that to walk away from a young quarterback that you just drafted. If DJ Chark can continue that same energy that he had versus the Packers for the rest of the season, I'm giving him a 2-year contract until I'm ready to move off from him. I'm not ready to cut anybody regardless of how Bryce's season has unraveled due to we're heavy in dead cap from players that Scott Fitterer got off the team, CMC, DJ, Chosen, the list goes on. It's sad that we have so much dead cap and that these players not even on the team. They're playing elsewhere for free along with doubling their bag because they're getting a bag from the team that they went to. So trying to dissect Bryce Young this season, it's impossible. There's times where he held the ball too long. There's times where he didn't throw the ball up for grabs for his receivers to make a jump at the ball. Any of that. You know, he was wishy-washy every week. And I already stated the 2 games that impressed me with Bryce Young. So there's a bright spot there with him. With any quarterback, you're going to have to surround him with weapons. That's point blank, period. So for me, what I'm looking forward to next year is we don't have much draft picks. So we're going to have to do something in free agency. If we wasn't going to re-sign Brian Burns early, you should just took them 2 first-round picks. Because at this point, you just playing with the man and just gave away 2 draft picks. Rather it's this year or next year, it wouldn't matter. You're building towards the future and towards something. Usually when you want a quarterback, you have something that's already there and you just plug and play the quarterback. But at this point, we have no clue what Bryce Young even is. We don't know if he's a pocket quarterback. We don't know if he's mobile. We don't know if he rely on getting out the pocket more. We don't know what type of quarterback Bryce Young even is. He's not a game changer. Bryce Young is more on the game management, and it's no telling if he's a game changer due to his frame and the coaches being in his mind like the whole season until Frank got fired. And I knew a lot was going on in the locker room because I stated that Bryce Young can get out that pocket and be mobile. And a lot of times it looked like he just stuck in the pocket due to his coach being in his head. Now, he's been more elusive since Frank got fired, but you can tell something was wrong. Outside of him not trusting the offensive line, the Green Bay Packer game has showed me that he's coming into his own to what he believes instead of people in his head. My negatives around Bryce Young is having to change so much to fit him. I can't dissect his play style just yet. You know, it's really hard to looking at how this offensive line let him down, looking at how his weapons let him down. And regardless if fans feel like he didn't have the best suitable situation coming into a franchise, you say what you want to say. You feel how you want to feel. I'm not finna beat this into nobody's head. But Bryce Young went to the best fit team regardless of how fans feel about it. He had a 2-time wide receiver, a Pro Bowler with DJ Chark. He also had an offensive line that had a lot of praise coming into the season, with Icky getting so much praise with him being a rookie, and he had a high rating at the end of the season. And other veterans that we picked up in free agency for that offensive line. So just because something didn't go into your fruition, that don't mean it was a horrible situation for Bryce Young. If you're a Bryce Creamer, then it is what it is. You don't want to hear nobody out. You only want to see what everybody's talking about and just say that he didn't show his full potential. We all know that, but all that is besides the point. I don't want to get into this carousel with who was picked first, who was picked after. At the end of the day, we're going to talk about every player that went before and after a player. It's just life. But that's my only negative with Bryce. We don't know what to fit him just yet. That's another video. I'm going to try to get into that pretty soon. But, yeah, man, let me know how y'all feel down below. What's y'all positives and negatives with Bryce Young? And do we keep DJ Chark? You know, I want to keep him for 2 years, but that's just me. We can't continue to cut certain players when we sign into big contracts because our dead cap is gonna keep increasing. It's very high right now, and hopefully a lot of them players is off the books next year, so we can finally do something for agency. Moving forward, we just got to do better. If we're not gonna re-sign a player, then trade him. Point blank, period. I don't know why we're playing with Brian Burns anyways. Derrick Brown should have been re-signed. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Continue to like the content. Subscribe if you're new. And if you've been here for a while, man, y'all know I appreciate y'all every time, bro. Like, it only goes up from here. So from the bottom of my heart, appreciate y'all. And catch you on the next one.